How's it going, everybody? It's the John Little Fox, and here's my channel where I talk about anime, video games, cartoons, most notably Sonic and Ninja Turtles. And today, I'm here to talk about some Sonic, specifically Sonic 3, the movie. Now, I know I'm a little bit late on talking about it and stuff. I actually did see it a couple of weeks ago, actually a little bit before Christmas, actually. But, I kind of wanted to rewatch the movie again, and then I went out of the town because, family and all that stuff. And then I kind of wanted to beat Sonic X Shadow Generations, and then rewatch the first and the second movie before rewatching the third movie, and I finally rewatched the third movie and did all that other stuff. So here I am. All right, so I'm gonna give you guys my thoughts and tell you the differences between the games and the movies, and yeah, that's about it. Alright, so basically here's the summary of the movie. So Sonic 3 is basically a readaptation of Sonic Adventures 2 arc, where Shadow the Hedgehog is first introduced. The story is of course altered compared to the original, since Amy Rose and Rouge the Bat are excluded from this particular story, and this time Professor Gerald is a part of this adventure using Shadow to destroy the planet with the Eclipse Cannon. So they both can kind of avenge Maria Robotnik, and of course Team Sonic wants to stop Shadow and the two Robotniks from activating the planet-busting laser. Sonic 3 is kind of watered down and tame compared to the original Sonic Adventure 2 being a kids movie, but it still works in my opinion by keeping the things that served as a catalyst for Shadow's character arc there, and even using it as a learning lesson for Sonic not becoming vindictive and not to do everything on his own, which kind of reminds me of the time when Sonic went Dark Sonic after he crashed out over Chris and Cosmo, much like Shadow nearly killing Tom in the movie. Obviously, I was more of in an agreement with Knuckles for not using the Master Room for revenge, but it all kind of worked out in the end in favor of saving the planet too. Tails was pretty decent and tried to keep a handle on Sonic, like showing him how being headstrong can get him killed at sometimes. Also reaching out to Agent Stone about his friendship with Eggman and their differences, and I am not saying that Agent Stone and Dr. Eggman's friendship is something to be inspired to. Of course, it's toxic as hell. It's not something I condone, but it's just But it's interesting, though. I'll say that. Knuckles was also one of my favorite characters in this movie, of course, having some of the funny banter all the way through and kind of coming through with saving everyone. Tom and Maddie were okay additions and didn't they still haven't really overstayed their welcome, in my opinion, in these movies. They're pretty good parents. They joined in on the antics, and they kind of have, some pretty wholesome scenes with the characters and stuff, so I like that. And this is probably the first time that we've ever actually seen Dr. Eggman and Professor Gerald actually side by side and actually working together and stuff. Even they had some goofy bonding moments between each other during this movie. So I'm unsure if Eggman is officially dead in this movie, or he'll be behind the Metal Sonic Army in the next, or if there's another version of him. But this would be a pretty good closure to his arc if so. If not, we know he's going to probably be the main villain again in the movie, or he'll probably just be there, but yeah. And of course, Shadow was a well-written character from Keanu's acting, his backstory, and interactions, which hit on all fronts. Especially Shadow and Maria, having fun moments like stargazing, watching movies, roller skating, and just having a fun, it was just cool seeing them just, together and stuff. Then Shadow and his back and forth with Sonic was pretty good. Every time you talk, the harder it is I want to hit you. That was hilarious. And Sonic having, he had some fun comebacks Shadow's highlights, calling him Hot Topic, New Hedgehog, Tokyo Drift. He called that, I know, to Agent Stone. Or, I'm sorry, we already had our motorcycle chase for the evening. Then seeing the Super Sonic and Super Shadow fight, then later turned to team up with it was definitely very pleasing and stuff to any fan to watch. Literally Sonic at one point punches Shadow so hard at the speed of light, he punches that man all the way straight from Earth to the moon, and they're fighting across the horizon of the planet and stuff. It was crazy. And honestly, it feels great that Sonic is doing great and becoming an example of what modern movies should be like, or kind of just recapture that feeling. And in 4 years, we've gotten a trilogy because of how people love these movies and stuff, So what exactly are the cons of this movie? Now, I don't have too much gripes or too many cons per se, because I feel like they really improved a lot of the stuff compared to the last two movies and stuff. And that's not to say the last two movies weren't bad, but from the second movie, to me, it was almost a damn near perfect movie to watch as a fan. But there was only two scenes that kind of killed it for me, and I'm pretty sure you guys already know which scenes those that I'm talking about. But anyways, the cons. Professor Gerald. Now, I know a lot of people saying this. I didn't really mind Professor Gerald too much in this movie, but I just kind of was just accepted. Like, obviously, it's a different version. But Professor Gerald, he's written more comedically than his more serious counterparts. But I'm kind of okay with him being more of the antagonist than Eggman, mainly because I didn't want like the same thing to happen in the second movie where Eggman used Knuckles until it was like until his expected redemption and stuff, much like Shadow. So the way how I saw it, I was like, well, if Professor Gerald is dead and Eggman tries to work with Shadow, it's basically going to be like the same thing from Sonic 2 because we know that Shadow is going to reform. That's just how I felt. But still, it turned out that they actually managed to keep Professor Gerald alive and didn't go through with the execution firing squad scene that happened back inside of Sonic Adventure 2. So yeah, and he's a little bit, like I said, he's more comedic and stuff because it is played by Jim Carrey and whatnot. So yeah, that was interesting and whatnot. They had, like I said, him and Dr. Eggman had some pretty fun moments and stuff. It was nice seeing them like bond, like grandpa and his grandson and everything. So yeah, but I will say that that is a con though for making Professor Gerald a little bit more comedic. Then my next con is Wade Whipple. Now, while he was in the movie for barely a minute, I'm still annoyed by his character after that Knuckles show, and that he kind of was interested with the Master Animal in the first place, and the first thing that this guy is doing is playing hockey with the Master Animal. I'm just like, Knuckles, you can't be serious right now. You cannot have that much trust in this guy, Like, I'm serious. I was just like, oh my god. So when Sonic was like pissed off and serious about, the Master Emerald and stuff, and he shows up and he's like, oh, it's Sonic. Hey, Sonic. And Sonic's like, wait, give me the Master Emerald. And he's like, well, I've been interested. He takes it. I was like, yeah, that shit was funny. Because I'm not like, yeah, like that's how I feel too. I'm not ready. I'm not trying to deal with this character, And then I guess some people would probably say they might have had a problem with the Rachel scene where you remember Maddie's sister or Tom's sister-in-law that'd be like hating on him and advocating for her sister to get a divorce and all that. Yeah, Rachel and her husband Randall and stuff. They make a little bit of a cameo in the movie, or it's the same actors, but the actual characters themselves aren't in the movie because Maddie and Tom are like using hologram versions of themselves, like of them, to try and infiltrate GUN, since Randall works for GUN, if you remember. I thought that was actually a pretty fun scene. I didn't have a problem with it personally myself because it didn't go on too long, and I thought, all right, that was a little funny. I ain't gonna lie to you, and I was like, all right, the character's not in the movie. It's not going on too long like that one scene from Sonic 2 with the wedding. That was annoying, but this is okay to me. Okay, all right, but those are pretty much my cons. I don't really have any other gripes about this movie other than that. So now to the pros. Alright, so this is going to be some of the pros, and I'm going to talk about what they improved real quick. Alright, first off, no fart jokes. There is no fart jokes in this movie whatsoever. There was a sly one in the first movie where Sonic and Tom were just talking and stuff, and then, Sonic kind of busted out one or whatever. Alright, whatever with that. Second one kind of went on a little bit too long with the at the beginning and stuff like that or whatever. Yeah, a little bit immature, I guess. I understand it's a kids movie, but you can kind of tell they're jokes than just do fart jokes and stuff for kids. You know what I mean? But they didn't have any of that here, so that's a plus for me. Next up, no cat jokes, which I feel like they kind of overplayed that for the for the last two movies. If you remember where Sonic gets caught by Tom in the trailer and stuff, in the first trailer from the first Sonic movie and stuff, he's like, what did the hedgehog say? Meow? Like that. And, Tom shoots him the tranquilizer, that happened in the movie. And then the second movie where Tails and Sonic get exposed, Sonic does it again. They didn't do it here, so that's fine. I was like, yep, please don't overdo that joke 3 times in a row for the same movie. You know what I mean? But yeah. And then, outside of that, the movie definitely has some good narratives as far as pros go. Like not letting your pain change you and stuff. So, basically the whole revenge thing and, family and stuff and the bonds and stuff, whether it be paternal, a brotherhood, a sibling kind of thing, whatever. They really do have those type of themes in here. And I feel like that's very powerful and impactful as well to like watch that on screen. So, yeah. And then, of course, I love the fan service. Oh, the fan service. Which I will be talking about some of that stuff in a second. But, yeah. Just a lot of fan service, so definitely expect that. But you already saw my review anyway, so I'm pretty sure you either know what happens or whatever, but oh my god, I love it. Yeah. Anyways, impactful fight scenes. Yes, the fight scenes were pretty good. I can't really say that there was a whole lot of fight scenes. I mean, there was the beginning fight with Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, as shown in the trailer, where they're fighting against Shadow and all that stuff, and they get beaten up pretty badly. And then Sonic goes after what's his face, goes after Shadow, who's riding on the motorcycle and all that stuff, and that kind of thing. So yeah, that was pretty good and stuff. And Shadow was using the gun and everything, so you get a lot of references to Shadow, the Hedgehog, the game, and stuff, the 2005 game. So that was pretty nice. I kind of wanted to defend my boy Knuckles because I know Knuckles wouldn't have gone out like that. Yeah, in some versions, like I guess Sonic Boom and a little bit inside Sonic X. Normally, nah. Knuckles and Shadow, they're both relatively on the same level. I know a lot of people compare Knuckles to like Piccolo and Vegeta to Shadow and stuff, since like Dragon Ball Z, it's inspired, like Sonic's inspired by Dragon Ball Z a little bit, but no, not Piccolo, Knuckles and Shadow are actually pretty close in power and stuff. It kind of shows you in the Archie comics. They're just strong in different ways though. Like Shadow's faster obviously, but Knuckles is physically stronger. But yeah, but you gotta get Shadow over and stuff, and that was a pretty cool scene where he was fighting the three of them. And then later on, we get that scene with Super Sonic versus Super Shadow and stuff. I knew Super Shadow was coming. I'm like, come on, we all knew Super Shadow was coming. Hell, the McDonald's toys literally even spoiled you on that too, because they actually have a Super Shadow toy or something like that at McDonald's. So yeah, we all knew it was coming. So that was pretty awesome and stuff. Seeing that that whole fight and stuff. They were fighting across the world and all that stuff, and just different locations and everything. Yeah, that was amazing. Then of course the beautiful animation, the character designs. Oh my god, the fact that they still have like Tyson Hess like co-producing this stuff is just like, oh my god, yes. Because that's what we need. We need more people that are actually fans of this stuff or know what they're doing to keep working on these like movies and stuff. That's kind of why Marvel and DC and stuff are kind of in this slump that it's in, because they don't really have people that really care about this stuff or knows what fans want. But Tyson Hess, he actually understands the fans, because Tyson Hess is also the same guy that animated, or I think he directed, like some of those Sonic Mania shorts and the other like annually Sonic short cartoons that we be getting and stuff, like Team Sonic Overdrive and all that stuff, etc. And he's also the co-creator of Tangle from in the IDW comics. So this guy definitely does have his hands on the Sonic franchise and stuff, that's for sure. Then also the acting and the voice acting was on point and charming. Of course, the actors were really great, like James Marsden, Tika Sumpter, and all of them. The Maria actress, I kind of had my doubts at first when I was trailer, but when she that bunny on Shadow's tank and stuff, I was like, all right, she won me over, because I like rabbits, I like bunnies. But and then her and Shadow were having a good old time. I was like, yep, this is Maria. Yep, I like this. And then, of course, the voice actors. I mean, I really feel like the voice actors don't really get a lot of credit. And, Jim Carrey, of course, too. Jim Carrey is also very entertaining. He's playing both Professor Gerald and Dr. Eggman at the same time, or whatever, you know what I mean? So, yeah, it's hilarious. But anyways, and then the voice actors, I really don't feel like the voice actors don't really get a lot of, like, attention or recognition, apart from, of course, the celebrity casting, like Idris Elba and Keanu Reeves. But Keanu Reeves, he definitely came through. Idris Elba, he's still pretty good in my opinion. I know he's not exactly my ideal, again, not exactly the ideal Knuckles, but I think he's alright. I mean, I kind of see a little bit of like a comparison to like I said before, like Starfire from the 2003 cartoon, with this version of Knuckles where he's like, oh, the outsider looking in, and he's not too much like the accurate video game counterpart, but close enough, or he's yeah, not half bad. He's very likable and all that. But anyways, but I still want to tip my hat, of course, to Colleen O'Shaughnessy and stuff. Like she's coming from the games. She's worked on, she's done Tails' voice inside Sonic Boom and various other stuff. You know what I mean? Like, and she's still voicing Tails to this very day. Like, yeah. And then, of course, Ben Schwartz, definitely feel like he definitely deserves a lot of credit, considering that he's playing the titular character Sonic, and he doesn't really, like, a lot of people don't be like, oh wait, who's that guy again? Or most people are thinking, oh whoa, Jim Carrey, oh James Marsden, oh Keanu Reeves, oh Idris Elba, you know what I mean? But Ben Schwartz kind of gets a little bit, you know what I mean, like he gets a little bit, yeah. I'm like, yeah, so I definitely want to commend him on his voice acting and stuff, because he's really good, and I definitely like his Sonic and stuff. So yeah, so that's what I think of the acting and the voice acting. Next up, the movie actually made $385 million worldwide so far, which is pretty good. So it's definitely a very successful movie. Overall, it was a very fun movie and stuff to watch and whatnot. You know, I mean, I really enjoyed every second of it, especially as a Sonic fan. So yeah, so I definitely recommend taking your family, of course, out there and whatnot. Or if you're just a Sonic fan and you want like just that little dopamine shot, then definitely check out that movie, man. And then the end credit scene, of course, like come on, the Metal Sonic, and then of course my best Hedgehog girl, Amy Rose. They're officially in the movies now, so Sonic 4 might adapt like Sonic CD or something, or like pull elements from that. Who knows? But yeah, but it was definitely awesome. I remember like some people were like, "Oh my God, it's Amy!" and stuff in the theater. Like I kind of went there with my like with my family and stuff, and my cousin. She was like, "Oh yes, I've been finally waiting for them to put Amy in there." Yeah, you know what I mean. So yeah, and I'm like, "Yeah, me too." Yeah, I'm like, "Yeah, me too." I was like, "Man, I hope they put Amy inside Sonic 3 or something." But I mean, they technically did because she's in the post-credit scene. So it is what it is with that one. But yeah, but it was definitely a lot of talk on the internet. I think somebody kind of spoiled it a little bit, or I saw it like because I saw it a week after it came out. So so I saw a little bit of some screenshots here and there, but I couldn't be like, I don't know if this is true or not. But I'm gonna just in my head just like I'm gonna tune it out, wait until I see the movie. I see the movie, I see the full scene. I'm like, all right, okay, I like it. So who knows what this might be? It could be some time travel adventure. It could be some Elseworld type stuff. I don't know who created this Metal Sonic. It could be Dr. Eggman. Hell, who knows? It could be Eggman Nega. You never know. But we're going to find out probably in the next 2 years. I'm like, please just put this movie out next year. I don't want to be, because I'm going to be like 27 next year and stuff. I mean, well, not next year. I'm going to be 27 in 2 years. Or no, wait. Yeah. No, wait. I'm tripping. It's coming out in 2027, so I'm going to be about 28 by the time that movie comes out. And I was like, damn. So, but it is what it is with that one. But hey, yeah, but it's nice seeing that this movie is still going on and stuff like this. We already got a Sonic 3 trilogy. I mean, well, we got a Sonic trilogy and all that stuff. And so far, the movies are pretty good. A lot of people have been doubting the success of the first movie and stuff, saying, well, the first movie wasn't all that good. I kind of rewatched the first movie. First movie, it was pretty good. It's pretty good. Not, of course, not the best, or it could have been better. Like if I were to redo the first movie, I probably would have had been like more like kind of like the Super Mario movie where they just like put all those characters in there like Mario, Peach, Donkey Kong, Bowser, and just Luigi, of course. The characters we're familiar with. I would have done that with Sonic 1 or this movie universe if I had it my way. But so far, pretty good. But anyways, those are my pros for Sonic 3. Alright, so here's some of the notable references inside Sonic 3. Sonic Heroes is referenced a few times, like, like Sonic and his friends being dubbed Team Sonic, and Tails' flight formation after they had jumped out of the helicopter. The next reference I have is that Ben Schwartz, his Sonic says the iconic, talk about low-budget flights, no food or movies, I'm out of here line. That he says in Sonic Adventure 2 when he jumped out the helicopter and was trying to invade the police and stuff, or the GUN agents and all that. Then of course there's a Chao Garden and stuff. There's a like when Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles they're in Tokyo, and Tails thinks that they should hide out at a Chao Garden and stuff, which is like this kind of Chuck E. Cheese kids place and stuff. I thought that was kind of fun and stuff. That was pretty nice and stuff, especially with the Chao costumes and everything. That was hilarious. But yeah, so I like that. Then of course in that same scene, a little girl or a little Japanese girl approaches Tails and is like, "Are you Detective Pikachu?" And Knuckles is like, "Haha, he does look like a Pokemon, Pika Pika." I'm like, "Oh man, that's so cute." But anyways, yeah. And then of course Live and Learn is played a few times throughout the movie and stuff. I'm like, how can you not? Eggman's theme is also played on Eggman's ringtone. I think Endless Possibilities was kind of played when Sonic started racing Tails and Knuckles and stuff at the start of the movie. And a few other themes is also kind of played too, and that I kind of either just didn't jot down or I just like, oh yeah, I missed. But yeah, Tom and Maddie kind of blow on the flash drive like an old like an old school game cartridge and stuff. I mean, hell, if I still like had some cartridges and stuff like that, which I still do, I would definitely be blowing on it if the if the game isn't working or whatever. You know what I mean? Like if like I have it like a DS Lite or something or a Game Boy, then yeah, of course you would blow on it like the old days. And then the multiple Metal Sonics, which is actually a reference to the Fleetway comics, where Metal Sonic managed to or Metallics, actually, not even Metal Sonic. He calls himself Metallics in that version. He made like an army of Metal Sonics and stuff to go after Sonic one time. And I think during one of Ian Flynn's earlier stories on the Archie comics when he started, he had done a small little story arc or it wasn't a story arc, but it was like a few issues where Metal Sonic did that kind of thing, which is again a reference to the Fleetway comics. So we get that here too with the Sonic 3 movie. And then of course there was some other stuff too, like Green Lantern was mentioned. I'm not gonna lie to you, I actually liked the Green Lantern movie. I thought it was pretty good back from 2011. Yeah, I know people call it the worst. It was not. Trust me, it was definitely far not the worst superhero movie. I thought it was pretty entertaining though. And then what else? Oh yeah, and then of course the Akira slide, motorcycle slide that everybody was talking about when the trailer came out, when Shadow was doing. Yeah, that was he did that in the movie and stuff. And there was probably a few other references too that I could be missing, but yeah, that's about it so far. Alright, so here are some of the differences between the movie and the game. Now, Maria's death is caused by an accident, whereas her death was actually intentionally being shot by a GUN soldier. But I guess because, they had to make it a little bit for kids and stuff, palatable for some kids, they had to turn it into an accident, which I'm still like, it's still impactful though, because it's still like, oh, a 12-year-old girl getting shot and killed, almost, so, yeah. So it works and stuff because, yeah, I was hoping they would not, like, do something, like, crazy, like what Final Fantasy VII did with Aerith, because they spared Aerith, I think, in the recent Final Fantasy game and stuff like that, when her death is supposed to be, like, a catalyst to bettering Cloud's character and stuff, you know what I mean? And the entire party at that. Just like how Maria's death is supposed to be a catalyst to help Shadow develop as a character and stuff. So I wasn't sure if they were going to actually have her survive that or not. But they had the stones to do it, so I was like, okay. Professor Joda is alive until the end, at least, where at least he was originally executed by a firing squad. Maria isn't terminally ill or living on the space colony arc, so Shadow isn't created for her sake. Shadow wasn't created by Professor Gerald, but could still have ties to Black Doom being spawned from a random meteor. Instead of using the arc to crash into the Earth, he actually uses the Eclipse Cannon, when Gerald in the games had made the Eclipse Cannons to combat the Black Arms race, in case, for their future invasion. Not only is Rouge and Amy cut from the plot, but also BioLizard. Sonic meets Shadow in the Escape City, or Station Square, or Central City, actually, in the games, and Sonic X, but in the movies, they actually meet in Tokyo. Sonic convinces Shadow to save the world instead of Amy. Professor Gerald wears a white variation of Eggman's jacket. Commander Towers is actually replaced by Commander Walters. Walters being an adult soldier who was friends with Maria back when she was alive, and Towers being a younger surrogate brother to Maria. So those are pretty much the differences that I have pointed out between the movie and the games. I'm pretty sure there might be a little bit more that I might have missed, but that's as far as I've seen it or what I can remember at the moment. But if you guys know anything, let me know down below. Anyways, I actually did enjoy Sonic 3, of course. I would say this is probably my second favorite movie of 2024. My first being Deadpool and Wolverine, or Deadpool 3. I thought that was probably the best movie that came out in 2024. Then Sonic 3 would definitely come in number 2. I can't say Venom would be my third favorite movie of last year, but I actually did enjoy Venom Last Dance, though. I know a lot of people didn't like it or whatever. I didn't think it was half bad. Me and my family, we enjoyed it and stuff. Etc. It wasn't, it was no Craven at least, so yeah, I didn't watch Craven, so I don't know, but but Sonic 3 definitely outperformed Craven and Mufasa and stuff, which makes no sense why Mufasa is even getting a movie, because we already know the outcome of what's going to happen to him in Lion King. But yeah, I'm just like, with Mufasa though, I'm just like, well, if you're going to do a backstory on Mufasa, it would probably make sense if you're doing a Lion King cartoon or something, like they had in the past, and just do a backstory episode or something like that, or maybe a 2-part like what Samurai Jack did with Samurai Jack's dad, the Emperor, and stuff, because he had a 3-part episode with how he fought Aku and all that stuff. But it doesn't matter, so I'm just like, but to do a CGI movie and stuff with Mufasa, I'm just like, yeah, that was dumb. But anyways, but yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on Sonic 3. If I had to give it an overall score, I would say it is a 9.4 out of 10. So personally, I give the story a 9, The acting was a 9.5. The characters was a 9. The animation was a 10. The soundtrack was definitely a 10. If I could put that to 11, I would. But for my rating system and all that stuff, it's a 10 out of 10 in my opinion. Because, of course, they had the Crush 40 stuff and the Live and Learn, so how can that not be a 10 out of 10? And then, of course, the fight choreography was amazing as well, so I give that a 9 out of 10. So, yeah. So, therefore, my score is 9.4 out of 10, or 94%, or A- when you think about it. But that's pretty much what I think. Tell me down below what you guys think of Sonic 3. Did you guys like it? Did you hate it? Was it too goofy? Was it just the perfect balance? Whatever. This is the General Little Fox, and I'm out. Peace. And until we meet again. Gotta go fast.